Miss or Mrs.?
Ms.
Miss Berkeley, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Your Honor, I'm here to get custody of my grandchild and also to make my or soon-to-be ex-son-in-law to pay the child support. My daughter was diagnosed with lymphoma, and Your Honor, it was a long and difficult process, as you can imagine, and he wasn't up for it, and he left.
A heartbroken grandmother enters the courtroom, her voice shaking but steady with determination. Her daughter's life ended far too soon, leaving behind a young child and fractured family. Now she demands custody and justice. But questions rise. When the father disappeared during his wife's illness, can he truly be trusted to return and raise the child now? The tension thickens, and shocking truths are about to be revealed in court.
So I went and helped my daughter and helped my granddaughter through this process. And they had been legally separated. He was paying child support, but when my daughter did pass away, I checked into the account. I had access to her financial business, and I checked the account, and he was not putting the payment in there. So I am looking for the back payments that are due, and I am looking to get custody of my granddaughter.
Okay, so let me just make sure I'm clear. Your daughter is deceased now.
Yes, ma'am.
And my condolences.
Thank you.
You're pretty much trying to step into the shoes of your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I understand.
Carrying the heavy weight of grief, the grandmother did what any loving mother would. She stepped in. She cared for her daughter during illness and raised the child in her absence. But after the tragedy, she discovered something alarming. The child's support had vanished completely. Now she fights for answers, accountability, and guardianship. Will the court side with her sacrifice? Or will biology alone decide this battle? The judge prepares tough questions.
Okay. Why do you believe it would be more appropriate?
He has a lifestyle that I don't necessarily think is best for raising children.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll get that from him. Mr. Alberts?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's going on?
Some of those details are correct.
Which ones are not correct?
The fact that I bailed on my wife, our marriage was over a long time before that diagnosis, and we mutually agreed that I would pay child support, that I would support her financially, and I did until she died. And now there's no one to pay child support to, and I don't know why she's dragging me in here, trying to take my kids away.
The father finally speaks, and his words shake the courtroom. He insists the marriage ended long ago, and that he supported his wife until her final days. Now he claims there is no one left to pay. But is this truth or an excuse? The grandmother refuses to believe him, and neither does the judge. What follows will dig into his lifestyle, and the results are already painting him guilty.
What lifestyle is she talking about?
I don't know. Ask her, Your Honor. I really don't know.
What lifestyle?
Well, he spends a lot of times in bars.
Okay.
A lot of time in bars. He spends a lot of money on babysitting because he spends a lot of time in bars.
Okay. Going to the bar is legal.
True, but who's going to be there to help with homework? Who's going to be there to hear the sad story of how she was bullied in class that day? A babysitter? I don't think.
Clubs, babysitters, and lonely nights. This is the grandmother's picture of the father. She describes a man buried in nightlife, leaving his child with strangers while chasing his own freedom. But is this neglect, or just her anger speaking? The judge wants evidence, not emotion, and her case weakens. Yet before momentum is lost, she makes a powerful accusation. One that could turn the entire custody battle upside down.
Are you always at the bar and leaving the baby with a babysitter?
No, Your Honor. Anytime
How would she know that?
Maybe because I call every night to say goodnight to my granddaughter,
Okay.
and it's the babysitter that picks up the phone.
Okay. So you don't necessarily know whether he's there or not, right?
Well, why would there be a babysitter there if he's there?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, you don't necessarily know if he's present or not. You just know that the babysitter picks up, right?
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
technically, yes.
Okay, well then technically you don't really know what he's doing unless you are actually at the bar.
She insists he is never home, while he strongly denies it. Every night, he says he calls, yet every time the babysitter answers. Coincidence or proof? The courtroom struggles to separate fact from suspicion. The grandmother admits she doesn't always know the truth. Her argument grows weaker, and the judge begins to close in. Now the question becomes, has she crossed a line in her desperate fight for her granddaughter?
You have someone spying on him, which is completely wrong. But that really has nothing to do with why we're here today. His child support should have stopped because there is no one to pay the child support to. Your granddaughter lived with your daughter, right? At
Yes.
the time of her death. Right, so you can't step into the shoes of your daughter. The
But-
only other living parent is dad.
True, but Dad was not around for the last 2 years. I was.
Right, but the child now has been living with dad since your daughter passed away, right?
Yes.
And when did your daughter pass away?
About a year ago.
The judge lays down a hard truth. You cannot replace the deceased. Legally, the grandmother has no parental standing. Despite raising the child for years, the law recognizes only the father now. But is it fair when love and care were abandoned? Tensions grow as the courtroom debates what family truly means. Just when it seems hopeless, a heartbreaking detail emerges, threatening to change everything about this fight.
Your rights are not superior over his in this particular case. There wouldn't be. There's no reason why he should be paying child support to you. I mean, you had access to the account that the money was going into because of your daughter. But now that she's deceased, there's no one to pay the child support to. So he should not be paying child support anymore. So he did the right thing. You just may not agree with it, but
I do not agree with it, Your Honor.
why do you need the money?
I don't need the money. I need to make sure that my granddaughter is getting everything that she deserves.
But how would you know that if she lives with him?
The court makes one fact clear. Child support ends with the mother's death. Legally, the father has done no wrong. But the grandmother is not after money. She wants assurance that her granddaughter is safe. From the outside, she sees little and fears much. The judge questions her motives, cutting to the heart of the matter. This battle is not about finances, but fear. And her next plea may risk everything.
If she lived with you, that would be valid. But if she lives with him, you can't necessarily speculate and say what he is or he isn't doing.
Well, I know what my granddaughter tells me.
Well, we're not going to go into that because children aren't very honest all the time. And how old is this child?
6.
Yeah, they have a very big imagination. So, I mean, I can't do anything about that. He should not be paying child support. And I'm assuming you cover the child on health insurance?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, the only thing I can order, pretty much is that he maintains that child support. The medical support on the child. But other than that, and that's through your employer,
Yes.
that's all that he can be ordered.
A 6-year-old caught in the middle of grief, fear, and family tension. The grandmother clings to her, desperate to believe every word. But the judge reminds the court that children often mix truth with imagination, misunderstanding, or emotion. The law is clear. The grandmother has no legal rights. The father walks away with custody and control. Yet, in this courtroom, peace feels impossible and haunting questions remain unanswered.
Pay child support for a child that belongs to him and that lives in his house.
Fine.
Okay. Is there anything further from you?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else from you?
What if the child wants to come live with me?
Well, she's 6 and you're not her parent. So she does not get to make that call. Now, dad starts doing something, like if it's actually proven that he's being neglectful and going to bars or anything like that, and the child ends up living with you, then yeah, but you're not the parent. So unfortunately, can't do anything about that.
Right.
Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
The case ends with the court denying child support and rejecting the grandmother's request for guardianship. Legally, the father walks away with everything, while the grandmother leaves empty-handed. But has justice truly been served? A child's future feels uncertain. A grandmother's love feels dismissed. Was this the right outcome, or a tragic failure of the system? The choice is yours. Comment below, share your thoughts, and stay tuned for more.